Good morning, everyone. So I'm actually in the hospital right now. It's my nice bed and all the other hospital stuff there. I'm feeling a lot better. I've actually been in here for this is my third day in here, and I came in here because of uterus fibroids. I'm also 4 months pregnant, and the whole situation was I had like a lot of pain 3 days ago, and it got really severe. Like, if for most people who have fibroids, you know how bad it can get, but I have a very large fibroid. I'll show you my belly. That's my belly right there at 4 months. It's quite big, as you can tell, but this whole section right here, I don't know if you can see that. That whole section right here is actually a fibroid because the baby's just comfortably sitting in here, and this part's not as swollen as that part. So what happened is this fibroid kind of grew bigger and bigger to the point where it like kind of outgrew its blood supply. So now it's at the point where it's degenerating, which is quite common, like for women with larger fibroids like myself. But the issue now is maintaining the pain while it's degenerating and breaking down and whatever it does during this process. But yeah. So when I first got here, first day, I got put on morphine right away just because the pain was really severe. It was like on a scale of 1 to 10. They asked me where my pain was, and it was way past a 10, because 10 being like the most, I guess, the most severe pain you've ever felt. And I've felt some really severe pain in the past, but that was like way worse than the most severe pain I've personally ever felt. So I was like around a 15 most of the time, and when I had like these shots of pain come, it shot right up to like a 25. It was really bad. So anyways, they put me on morphine for the first day. Into the second day in the morning, and then my specialist, my OBG and gynecologist, she decided to take me off of the morphine, but give me a repository anti-inflammatory painkiller. So I kind of had to, push it up my butt, which was fine because that one was supposed to last longer. They say they normally give it to women after a C-section or childbirth or something to help with pain management. And yeah, so they gave me the repository, so it lasts longer. It lasts for 12 hours, so I'm not constantly having to retake, because the day before with the morphine, I was having to redose every hour pretty much, which is not very good. But anyways, so I took that around 10 o'clock in the morning yesterday. That's the repository. And then I took another one around 10 p.m. But during the day I noticed I had a lot of bleeding in my stool, and that got me really scared. Like, why would I be bleeding, right? If it was related to the baby, I thought maybe I might be bleeding vaginally, but that wasn't the case. Okay, sorry about that. That rolling cart there was for me. They just took some blood work because, as I was explaining, I was on the repository But then I'll try to do this quickly because I'm not on the repository anymore. So technically I'm not on any pain meds anymore right now, but it's gonna wear out at about like 10:30, and I'm not gonna have a lot of time to tell you guys this before I get into some serious severe pain where I could barely talk. So yeah, the only thing you're gonna be hearing is screaming probably, unless they put me back on morphine. But yeah, anyways, so that's what I was saying. I started getting blood in my stool, and then a doctor came in today and he checked my butt, I guess up my butt, and at first he thought it was hemorrhoids, so he had to get like a little camera to go up there to see if it was hemorrhoids or not, which he did, and figured that it's not hemorrhoids, but there was a lot of irritation, so he figured that it's the repository that went up there that was actually irritating me and causing the bleeding. So he ordered that I don't take it anymore. So I guess he had to talk to my obstetrician, because she's the one who would recommend that I take it in the first place so that I don't have to take morphine, because morphine's not really safe, I guess, up to a certain stage of pregnancy. I'm only at 4 months, but usually later on in the pregnancy it's not really, and it's not a long-term pain relief solution anyways. It's supposed to be temporary, but until you find like something more long-term. But anyway, this whole journey, it's been a mess. And even though I know the pain's coming because I can feel it creeping up on me right now, with every little movement I can feel the pain coming back. I do know that I don't want to go back on morphine long term, so unless this fibroid finishes its degeneration real quick so that I don't have any more pain, I can go home. I actually want to consider other more natural pain relief remedies, because there are more natural pain relief remedies out there. The one that I do know of, obviously, is I know a lot of people have their opinions about this, but what is it called again? Marijuana oil. Apparently that's supposed to be really good for pain relief, like severe pain relief, and also inflammation and tumors. And a fibroid is a tumor, like this swelling right here, that is like one big tumor, but obviously it's not cancerous or anything. But that's one of them that I've considered, just because that's the one I've heard a lot that cancer patients use when they have tumors and stuff, and it seems to work really well for them. So I figured if it works for a cancer patient, it should work for me. Now, I'm not advocate for marijuana in any way whatsoever, and I actually don't like it. I don't indulge in recreational marijuana, and nor do I surround myself with people that indulge in recreational marijuana, just because I don't think it's a recreational drug. A lot of them use the excuse that, yeah, it's medicinal, but then they're just using it recreationally, so what's the medicinal purpose of that? If it's medicinal, you should be using it for medicinal purposes. That's my opinion about that. But again, that's just my opinion about that. I know there's a lot of people out there that use it. I think there's probably more people out there that use it than don't, as far as for recreational purposes. I'm just not one of those people. I don't advocate for it. And even though I'm considering it, I'm considering taking it. I'm considering from a medicinal point of view, not to make me feel better or feel whatever it is. Anyways, whatever that goal is, to take it recreationally, and like any other medication, of course. And what was my train of thought now? Yeah, I'm gonna start losing my train of thought as the pain kind of creeps on here. The other thing is, there's also the obvious racial stereotype that I've noticed around it. I'm not from an environment or culture or family that does marijuana recreationally. It's not something I grew up seeing. And there's certain parts of the world, obviously, like I moved to Toronto when I was a teenager with my, yeah, it's starting. Well, my family. My mom moved me up to Toronto. And I noticed, like, in more metropolitan cities like that, people are around certain populations and certain groups of people. And there's a higher population of, let's say, black people from islands, like Caribbean islands, like Jamaica. And even though maybe for some of them, that is a culturally acceptable thing for them to indulge in recreational marijuana, it was not. It was a total opposite for me. It's not something we even, like, it's not something I was even conscious of growing up. And even when I got a little bit older and knew about recreational drugs, it was because I was being taught not to indulge in recreational drugs of any sort, right? But that's just my upbringing. But then I noticed in Toronto, people will walk up to me just because I am black and ask me if I have marijuana that I can give them or sell to them, which is absolutely ridiculous. And my mom has similar experience at one of her friends' houses, and one of the other friend that was there that she only just met that same day actually walked up to her, and I guess she wanted to go smoke some marijuana outside, and of all the people in the room, I guess she figured that because my mom is black, she must be a marijuana smoker, a marijuana recreational smoker. So she walked up to my mom and was like, "You want to go smoke some ganja?" And my mom doesn't know those terms. She doesn't know, like, you know, the urban lingo for marijuana, all that Mary J, ganja, and all of that. She's not familiar with that because it's not something that existed in her life. She was not surrounded by recreational weed smokers. So she was just like, "What is that?" And then this woman, yes, this lady was a white lady. I just have to point that out because most stereotypes that I've experienced have been from white people. I'm sorry, that's just true. So yeah, that's most of the racial stereotypes I've experienced around things like that. Like, must have dreads because I'm Rastafarian. Okay, yeah, sure. But anyways, back to the point. Um, what was I saying? Yeah, my mom had no clue what she was talking about. And this lady was super shocked. She was really, really shocked that my mom wouldn't know what ganja is. And she has explained to her that it's weed. And my mom proceeded to tell her that no, she doesn't smoke anything. She doesn't smoke weed, no cigarettes, nothing. And she was even more shocked at that. I know the only reason she was shocked is because she's talking to a black woman and assuming that because she's a black woman, that she would smoke marijuana recreationally. And this is something that we go through regularly in environments like that, people just assuming things like that. But anyways, because of that, because I don't have a desire to do it recreationally, and also because of the racial stereotype, I don't I don't mess with that stuff. I don't entertain people that come around me going, "You want to try this?" Or, like, I just stay clear of it, like, because it's just, I don't know. To me, the only experiences I've had with it are negative experiences like that, where I'm being stereotyped for doing a recreational drug specifically because of the color of my skin. So, anyways, that's why for myself, I've never actually gotten into smoking marijuana. And also, the third reason is because I am asthmatic, I should say. And I don't tend to get along with anything that's smoke related going in my lungs. Even if it's marijuana, people say, yeah, but it's medicinal, it'll help you with your asthma, blah, 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 blah. Any kind of smoke, as long as it's smoke and it's going in my lungs, causes me irritation. And that's really hard for people to understand. Maybe for other asthmatic people, we all have different kinds of asthma that react differently to different things. Like for me, my asthma gets triggered by completely different things that other people don't. I know other people who run miles, like they run tracks and stuff like that, and they have asthma and they can do that, but then they just can't be around flowers and pollen and stuff. Whereas for myself, I can be around flowers and pollen and stuff, but I can't run because running, like actually physically running, triggers my asthma. So it's very different for different people. So for them, yeah, sure, smoking marijuana might be helping clear their lungs, but for me, that's the surest way of getting me in a hospital bed, really. So these stereotypes really have to stop. These things are on an individual basis. And anyway, back to the whole point. I just wanted to explain that whole thing, that just because you hear me say I'm considering it for my pain relief is not because it's a recreational thing for me or something that I consider normally, that I would normally consider taking. But these are really extreme cases where I need something that helps, something that's not going to give me side effects, like severe side effects, like bleeding in my stool. Like, really, come on. Anyways, and also just the constipation too I was getting. I found out that was from the morphine I was taking. So yeah, something gotta give. We gotta switch some things up here. And I don't know how, but sorry. This is starting to get really uncomfortable. I'm gonna talk to my husband when he comes in and see like what we can do as far as getting that mailed to us somehow or something. Or I'm also gonna talk to my doctor, obviously, and see. Oh, this thing is so itchy. I want to take it off. It's like it's just, there's no air going in there. But yeah, I'm gonna talk to my doctor obviously about it, just because I am doing all of my prenatal checkups every month with the clinic that she works at. So obviously they have to know that that's the course that I've chosen, because if this ever happens again in my pregnancy, I don't want to be in here taking morphine and a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know how I'm going to react to. And on top of it, I can barely eat the kinds of food that I need to eat. Everything they give me for meals here are things that I shouldn't be eating while I have fibroids. Like breakfast, they give me toast, for instance. Like bread has yeast in it. I don't eat bread even at home because it has yeast in it, and yeast's gonna make your fibroids grow. I feel them even swell up when I eat bread, the few times that I do get tempted to eat bread. And they gave me toast and sausages yesterday, and that was breakfast. And some those orange juices and Jello, of all things, Jello. Like sugar. Sugar is the worst thing by far for fibroids. Don't eat that if you have fibroids. They will just grow like wildfire. The only sugars that I eat personally, I'll show you just now. I have here my fruits and vegetables. So I have berries, because berries are really good. I have some blueberries over there, this whole thing. And obviously some bananas here, bananas there. So I try to eat more fruits and vegetables, not too much fruit again, so that I don't get too much sugar intake going on. But yeah, I eat more legumes and stuff and chicken. Once in a while I have salmon. Pardon that. It's like the hospital announcements. But yeah, once in a while I'll have salmon, but I don't really have it a lot right now while I'm pregnant, obviously, because fish is not recommended because of the mercury contents in it. The potential mercury content, so it's just not good to risk it. But yeah, I'll have chicken, but so far I just stay away from really starchy, yeasty foods. So no pastas, no breads, and especially number one, if you have fibroids, stay away from beef. Beef, the whole cow, everything that comes out of a cow, whether it's like cow's milk, cheese, steak, ground beef, whatever it is, stay away from that, because that will make you swell up like a balloon. Beef is such a high inflammation meat or product. You drink milk, dairy food, all dairy food made out of like beef, all of it. Just stay away from dairy food. It's just dangerous. You're just asking for it. I used to eat a lot of dairy and beef and stuff, and I think that's how I got to this size, because last time I got an ultrasound, I was at about 10. My fiber was as big as I thought it could get, like 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 5. And now it's at 13 centimeters by 14.5 centimeters by, I think, another 10 centimeters. It's massive. So I kid you not when I say beef is your worst enemy in general as a human being. We are not meant to eat beef products. We're not meant to eat dairy food. We're not designed to process all of that cow milk and lard and all that stuff. It's something that we've done culturally, yes, but we are suffering the consequences of it every day, and we don't even realize that that's what's causing it. All of the inflammation, the indigestive problems, all of the cancers that we're getting, all of that stuff is majorly contributed by all the dairy food that we take in and all the beef products that we take in. You cut that out of your life, just that one animal, cut that animal out of your life, and you'll see such a big change. Red meats are very high in acidity, so they do make your body's pH level unbalanced. You'll become very acidic, and you'll start having indigestion problems, and you'll start having gas issues and all kinds of issues that come about because of that. You could probably look this up yourself. You don't have to take my word for it, but I'm just telling you from experience of someone whose body has just had enough of that stuff, and it's like, no, enough is enough. I won't let you do this anymore. And for each one of us, that stage comes at different stages. For me, it just happens to come to me now at 31. For some people, they might not get it until they're 52. But at the end of the day, the longer you wait, the more severe your condition is going to be when you do get it. Right? So please take care of yourselves, take care of your bodies, be careful what you put in your bodies. And even though it might not be giving you problems now, it doesn't mean it's not going to give you problems later. And prevention is the best medicine. So please, for all your sakes, I don't even know some of the people watching this, but for all your sakes, just be very careful what you put in your body. You only get one body, and you can't take certain risks just because it tastes good. There's so many things that taste good. I'm just covering so many ways of preparing food right now that taste good and are healthy. You don't have to sacrifice your what tastes good or your taste buds to be healthy. initially it's hard, it really is, and it seems like you do have to because you don't know how to prepare the food. You just have like raw broccoli sitting there. But then over time you start realizing like really delicious, amazing recipes that you can make with things like broccoli, chickpeas, lentils. I was eating this really good salad with like, this is, I believe it's couscous. There's some lentils and different kinds of legumes in there, some peas and vegetables and green onions and stuff. Just that liquid stuff is just some vinaigrettes mixed up, which vinegar is good for you because it rebalances your pH as well if you don't want vinegar, or if you don't like, sometimes different kinds of vinegars, if you mix them up, they taste really, really good. I've had some salads in restaurants with like really awesome vinaigrette mixtures that you would think it's something that was like manufactured in some factory somewhere, but it wasn't. They actually just made their own kind of vinaigrette in the kitchen that day just to try it out, and then I happened to taste it and I was like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever tasted. If you don't like vinegars, obviously there's limes, there's lemons, and there's all different kinds of little, seasoning and stuff that you can mix in there to make a dressing. So, and some of the dressings I've had actually taste way better than a lot of the store-bought dressings. So don't underestimate yourself. Like, if you really dedicate yourself to a healthy diet, you will start to discover amazing ways of preparing food that taste absolutely amazing. You won't miss anything. Trust me, you will not miss anything at all. If anything, you will gain more than you think you're gonna lose, because you'll gain good health and a pain-free life eventually, because it takes about the same. It takes some time to get back to good health once you've already done things that deteriorate your health already. So you need to be very patient and give it some time. Anyways, this video is becoming very, very long. I just wanted to share that with you because that's what's going on currently. And I will talk to you guys later and update you about what's gonna happen, what my doctor's gonna decide as far as pain relief, but also how the conversation's gonna go between her and I as far as what my options are, what I'm considering for pain relief for these fibroids, because I already know how to treat the fibroids. Like, my diet right now is like it's designed to shrink fibroids, or at least keep them at bay or growing slower than they normally would. But I just need a little bit of help as far as the pain relief part. But obviously, clearly, if they can't really help me properly here without giving me more problems than I already have, I kind of have to take matters in my own hands, and this is what this video is about pretty much. So I'll talk to you guys later. Ciao.